Tonight's show is brought to you by Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika. Get ready to smile.
Hello, baseball fans. You're watching On to Tyler Redmond.
Hey, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to On Deck with Tyler Redmond. I really do appreciate it. While you're here, please do us a favor. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell for notifications so that you can stay up to date with everything going on with your Atlanta Braves as well as all across baseball. Of course, we are fresh out of this series with the Kansas City Royals. The Braves do win it with a 2-1 finish against the Kansas City Royals. They win 2 out of 3 here, and we'll take that opening up the year, especially at home. What a series this was, especially the first 2 games. A 6-0 win in Game 1. I was happy to be there to see Chris Sale go 6 innings scoreless, and the Braves put up 3 homers courtesy of Michael Harris, Drake Baldwin, and of course Ozzie Albies in the first inning, putting up 4 runs on the path to a 6-0 victory in Game 1. And then of course Game 2. We went live last night, a little bit of a lesser version of our normal live stream, just on the cell phone. Wanted to get on and talk about Dom Smith's walk-off grand slam. Obviously, a great moment for him, honoring his mother who recently passed away. A terrific moment for him, a terrific moment really for the Braves. I said last night it was reminiscent of the Pablo Sandoval home run back in 2021, if you'll remember that one. New addition, very similar, kind of out of nowhere, and obviously just a big-time moment for Dom Smith. But then we, of course, get to Game 3. Grant Holmes doesn't have it really, gives up 5 hits across 5 innings, also gives up, I want to say, 4 runs, if I'm not mistaken. I will say there was one positive today. We can talk about what happened or didn't happen offensively, but Didier Fuentes coming out in the bullpen and throwing 4 innings or with 1 run given up, I'll take that any day of the week in a game like today. So a lot to be taken from this series, but when I look at it, I number one, Walt Weiss is a winning manager as we speak right now. I think he will be at the end of the year too. They're 2-1. And look, I'll take that right now. Of course, now we will face the Oakland A's, or whatever they call themselves these days, but they are still the Athletics. We'll take them on at home before going on a road series with the Diamondbacks. Right now, I am excited that the Braves are competitive. I am excited that they've obviously won to start the year, especially after last year at the 0-7 start. That is plenty to be excited about. Obviously, the fashion in which they won last night was exciting. The fashion in which they won Game 1 was just as exciting. Though dominant, it was exciting. And I'm excited for what's to come. It's, as Sergeant Gibby says in the chat, much better than going 0-7 on the West Coast like 2025. I, for one, had a great experience on opening day, being at the ballpark. Honestly, can't believe I'm saying this, but that is my first ever opening day, not only as a journalist, but also as a fan. I've never been to an opening day, mainly because we haven't had a ton of opening days at home. And when they have been at home, it hasn't worked out for me. So good experience, couldn't have asked for much more. Got to see a lot of the Braves alumni prior to the game. A lot of fun there. Obviously, seeing the team getting on a hot start like they did, it was a great experience, and made the highlight read a little easier from Truist Park. So a lot of fun there. And yeah, I'm thrilled with what I'm seeing out of this team. I'm thrilled with what I'm seeing out of Walt Weiss as manager. And we'll have to see how it plays out, but a lot to be excited about. The pitching staff so far is about what I expected. Chris Sale was Chris Sale. Reynaldo Lopez looked a lot better than a lot of people thought he would. Again, my concern with Reynaldo, not his velocity. I'm more worried about his durability into the second half of the season. Same with Grant Holmes. Not really worried about what he's going to do on the mound. Obviously, today didn't really go his way, but I can look past that. It's not his best start, but I do believe things will get better for him. But again, it's more so, can they post up every 5th day for a whole 162? More so than can they pitch? I know they can pitch. One positive that we have gotten in the past few couple of days is that Alex Anthopoulos came out and said that Strider will be back sooner rather than later. He is, of course, on the 15-day IL. The earliest he can come back, I want to say, is April 6th. Might be the 4th, but I'm pretty sure it's the 6th. That is encouraging because a lot of times when you get the oblique strain, they can go much longer than that. So hopefully that'll be the case, and we'll get him back sooner rather than later, as Alex Anthopoulos put it. As much as I like Suarez, Jose Suarez in the rotation, I'd much rather have Spencer Strider there and Bryce Elder as my 5th guy. There's already not a lot of wiggle room in the rotation, and losing Strider for any length of time could be disastrous. It's not there yet because we are early on in the season, and the fact that you got 2 wins at the start does help. But, of course, the Braves will pitch Bryce Elder tomorrow. That could go one of 2 ways. We'll see how it is. He did have a decent spring. He got some good innings under his belt. Well, we're going to have to hope that that's enough to carry him into the regular season. Beyond that, I don't know what to expect out of Jose Suarez. Jose Suarez, as Mark Bowman put it on Twitter not too long ago, Jose Suarez has more teams in the past couple of years than he does starts. So we're going to have to see how that goes. I imagine that will evolve into a bullpen game, whether the Braves are planning on that or not. That's kind of how I see it going. I'm not all-knowing. We'll see how it goes, but I don't have a ton of faith in Suarez on the back end of the rotation, especially long-term. You may be able to get away with it for a little while, but we'll have to see how it goes. I do think you're going to see some young pitching this year get some opportunities at the major league level. We saw Didier Fuentes today, and I think that's a good thing. The fact that he threw 4 innings with 1 run given up, I don't care when it is in a game. For a guy that young with that much potential, that's a positive. In terms of beyond that, I'm looking at J.R. Ritchie at the AAA level right now. I think he could very well pop up to the big leagues at any given moment for a spot start, and who knows where we go from there. You know, I don't think Bryce Elder has necessarily, I think he's penciled in. I don't think he's pinned in for this rotation. And I think those guys are going to be fighting for a spot. So we're going to have to see how it goes. Obviously, the Braves are hoping for the best out of all of these guys. They're hoping that, ultimately the rotation's an afterthought by the All-Star break. Otherwise, I think you're going to have to go out and find someone. If you can't find someone in-house, I'm honestly surprised that we haven't. I said this a few times the other day to some folks that were at opening day. I am curious what Giolito's asking price is. The fact that he's still on the market and we're a few days into the regular season is a little not concerning, just I'm a little curious as to why that is. I mean, he's a solid starting pitcher. I'm curious what the asking price is, because a team like the Braves would probably jump at Giolito if the price is not astronomical. So I imagine that the price is astronomical because Giolito's agent, however it may go, probably knows that, well, they're desperate, so I can hold out for more money, and, that is what it is. The Braves are never going to shoot for that, most times anyway. So I think ultimately we're going to have to see where things go, and I do think that the Braves will likely be active in search of starting pitching at the trade deadline if they can get, hold of one. I think they're going to be very active in that search because I think they're going to have to be. The starters that we have, Chris Sale, Strider, and Reynaldo Lopez and Holmes, solid. Who knows if we get Schwellenbach back this year? I don't think you can count on that. It may happen, but I don't think you can bet your postseason chances on that, if that makes any sense. Plus, we don't know how long it's going to take for him to actually recover to get back to where he was. So ultimately, I think it's going to be a strange year because we are going to be waiting for the trade deadline, and much like years past, we very well may be sitting here in August going, all right, what is AA going to do? What's he going to pull out of his hat? And we're going to have to wait and see what that may be. But yeah, a lot to be excited about, a ton to be excited about. And I'm thrilled that the Braves are back. I know you guys are too. Please do us a favor, like this stream if you can for us. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Also hit the bell for notifications so that you can stay up to date with everything going on here at On Deck and, of course, with your Atlanta Braves. We'll be right back.
Going on right now at Glenn Smith and Opelika.
Enjoy huge savings on our complete lineup of GMC Sierras and GMC Terrains. Full-size and powerful GMC Sierra at $13,500 off.
Buy today and make no 120 days.
And the stylish GMC Terrain as low as $395 a month. People from all they buy from Glenn Smith Chevrolet.
Check us out 24/7 at glennsmith.com.
Yeah. Going on right now at Glenn Smith and Opelika.
Both Chevy Silverado and Traverse are ready for you. Get supplier pricing today on all new Chevy Silverado 1500s with up to $13,500 off. Or get a loaded Traverse, the roomy Chevy SUV with third row seating, and enjoy up to $6,000 off.
Buy today and make no payments for 120 days.
Smart people from all over the USA buy from Glenn Smith Chevrolet.
Get ready to smile.
All right, so once again, great series for the Braves. We saw a few firsts for the Braves in this series. Of course, the first ABS challenges. Salvador Perez, by the way, got to give credit where it's due. 4 for 4, I think, at one point on the ABS challenges. He knows the strike zone very well, and he's not alone. A lot of these catchers are and that's kind of what the forgotten part of this ABS system is that the catcher and the pitcher, the battery can also challenge the pitch, because anytime I think about the ABS system, it's purely from a hitter standpoint. And Salvador Perez is taking as much advantage of that as he possibly can. But I will also say this: there's been a lot of talk about the ABS system, and rightfully so. This is a new thing in baseball, and some people are having trouble adjusting. And you may know what I'm talking about, but if you have not seen what C.B. Buckner did in his first game behind the plate, it's pretty much what you would expect C.B. Buckner did in this first game behind the plate with an ABS system. There were multiple times where players challenged a strike or a ball call. There was a couple in the same at-bats in the same game. Really rough day there for CB. Did not look thrilled. And honestly, they weren't egregious calls. I mean, C.B. Buckner, God bless him, has had some egregious strike and ball calls over the years. And they weren't that, but they were off the plate for sure. And the players took advantage, and it is what it is. I will tell you, everybody kind of knows about C.B. Buckner, similar to Angel Hernandez. Everybody is kind of aware, and I've had some conversations with former and some current players, and just how they are, how they would go about their business in a situation like this. Now with ABS, where you can challenge the umpire with a situation like an Angel Hernandez or a C.B. Buckner, and I've had a lot of the players tell me, I'd be tapping my head left and right. It's going to be crazy. And sure enough, we're not a week in, and their words lived up to be true. So, pretty interesting for sure. ABS is a brand new thing. It's going to take time for everybody to get used to it, but here we are, right? And we're going to have to see how it goes. But you know what? Credit to C.B. Buckner for taking it like a champ. I know we got some folks in the comment section. Bear with us, guys. We have been having a little bit of technical difficulties. It's the first one of the year, and no matter what I do with this computer, it likes to be a nuisance. So bear with me. Let's see who we got. I know Sergeant Gibby's been busy in the chat. It's loading. Okay. Ball got flown back in the wind. Should have had 2 homers. I agree with that. I was actually listening to the broadcast on the radio today. I was on the road. I was actually at the Front Row Card Show in Atlanta this morning. Made some purchases there. But yeah, I mean, I was listening to it on the radio. Ben Ingram was saying the same thing. I want to say Bowman tweeted something about the exit velocity 80-something%. And any other time it would be a homer. So, we'll take what it is and move on from there. Sergeant Gibby also says, need to survive the Elder start tomorrow versus Kurtz and Rooker. Yeah, completely agree there. Like I said earlier, could go one of 2 ways. Had a really solid spring, which is a positive. That said, it is still Bryce Elder. He's got to get through 6 or 7 innings, and we'll see how that goes. But it is what it is. Sergeant Gibby says Holmes wasn't bad. Our offense sputtered. I kind of agree with that, but as you also said earlier, the ball wasn't exactly flying out of the yard. That said, Walt Weiss himself said that we can't always count on homers, and they weren't able to really find ways to score, other than, ironically enough, a homer courtesy of Drake Baldwin. So it is what it is. Jeffrey Humphreys says, thanks, Tyler. Thank you, Jeffrey. Appreciate that. Thank you to everybody in the comments section. Really appreciate you. He also says, go Braves. Obviously been a great start to the season. Today was a little bit of a moot point, but we'll take the series win as we head into Oakland. I think the Braves have a very good shot at actually having a really good start to the year, if they haven't already. And I mean more long-term, because when you look at the next series with the A's, the Braves could roll off 3 in a row. And I don't think it would surprise that many people if the offense can get right, because you do have Bryce Elder on the mound. If he can give you 5 or 6 innings of solid pitching and keep the runs off the board for the most part, I think your offense can win. Jose Suarez, I'm a little worried about. I think that'll be a bullpen game, but I think any given day, this offense, the way it's hitting right now, I do think it can win. And I do think after that, you have Sale on the mound, followed by another Reynaldo Lopez start. So I do think that the Braves could very well come out of spring training where, they rolled off, more wins than anyone in the Grapefruit League, and could very well roll off a few at the beginning of the year. I was talking to my dad earlier today, and we kind of were talking about this exact thing, actually. And the point of the spring training success. A lot of people look over that and go, well, it's spring training. Longtime baseball fans, longtime Braves fans are going to remember 1982. That's the year, of course, where they won the National League West for the first time ever in the city of Atlanta. They had a terrific year that year. Well, the main reason they did is because they got off to a great start. And anytime you talk to a Glenn Hubbard or a Bruce Benedict or anybody that was on that team, they always talk about that spring training. Always. Because they had a really solid spring training. Well, so did Atlanta this year. And that kind of momentum coming into the season is a positive. It should not be overlooked. And hopefully it's not. That's my take. Jeffrey says Elder can be good. Hopefully Walt won't leave him in too long if he falters early. That's the problem. He is your starter. You don't want to blow your pin completely out of the water, which is why it was so big that Didier Fuentes threw 4 innings of 1-run baseball today and was able to save the innings on the pin. We got pretty much a full disposal tomorrow. Fuentes probably won't be of use tomorrow, but pretty much everybody else will be, and that was big for Fuentes. That's his role right now, and he's playing it well, so we can be excited about that. Guys, we're going to wrap it up with that. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Kind of an impromptu live stream. Wanted to get on here and talk about the opening day, opening series with the Royals. Again, a lot to be excited about. Obviously, the Dom Smith homer was just kind of just the cherry on top of this whole series, but a lot to be excited about offensively. Some things we need to work on for sure. But ultimately, Braves baseball is back, and they're playing like we know that they can, and that's exciting. So with that said, guys, really do appreciate it. Before we get out of here, want to thank the sponsors, Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC. You can check them out at www.glennsmith.com. They're in Opelika, Alabama. If you need a vehicle, I promise they are the place to go. You will leave with a smile. With that said, everybody, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time right here at On Deck.
Baseball fans, make sure you like and share this video and subscribe to this channel. Always, thank you for